Hello, investors. It is Connor Bates, Associate Portfolio Manager with Revere Asset Management. Today is Thursday, September 26th, 4:23 p.m. Eastern Time, coming to you with tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. And before I get going, I just want to mention, if you guys enjoyed the videos, give it a like and comment as well. We reply to all comments. So with that, market state, we continue to be in an uptrend. And if we look at the trend gauge here, we are in grow mode with the four coveted green arrows. And if this is your first time watching the videos, we have market leaders, which judging on leading stocks, that has the green arrow. Short term, this is just the 21 EMA, green arrow. Medium term, this is our 50 SMA, simple moving average. And long term, which is the 200-day moving average. So what happened today? Well, we had a strong overnight gap on the heels of, some more China stimulus news. Plus, Micron had a positive earnings reaction that prompted the overnight move, and we closed mid-range. So here are the final numbers: 21 over 21 list up 0.10%, 8 green, 3 neutral, 10 red. Big 8 down 0.2%, RG8 up 0.7%. S&P up 0.4%, RSP up 0.84%, QQQ up 0.75%, and equal weight up 1.07%. And it's nice to see the equal weight S&P along with the equal weight NASDAQ outperforming, especially with the big 8 red on the day. And that's the hallmark of a bull market, sector rotation. So good to see certain sectors outperform on some days, and it kind of flip-flops, but that's what helps keep the bull market alive. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 0.6%, mid caps up 0.83%, Russell 2000 up 0.52%, 60/40 up 0.67%, and in-house GROTECTION up 0.69%. So as usual, I'll get into the inter-asset correlation. So starting out with the S&P 500, can't really ask for better action. Continues to ride the 8 EMA higher. And, we're starting to have this mini 5-day consolidation. Poked our gapped up pre-market, kind of tested it back during the day and closed above. Pull up a 60-minute and you can see, not a clean breakout, but still just, the trend's up, and this is setting up for another breakout if we get that. But daily looks great. RSP, strong up 0.84% today, and kind of setting up this little flat flag. Volume's been declining here, so we'll see if we can get a breakout there. QQQ, so yesterday in our keys, we had this, cup and handle breakout, and today we're confirming higher out of that into the starting to approach this 500 level, which could be some resistance along with those recent highs, 503, but strong day today and close. Dow Jones just trending higher, riding the short-term moving averages, and it's got like a tight 5-day range here. So see which way it wants to break. Mid caps looking good here after that bounce off the 200-day. Relative strength line still lagging a little bit, but maybe we start to see this pop through here and get some rotation back into the mid and smalls. But setup wise, after a big move up, it's forming a nice little continuation flag here. Russell 2000, we mentioned yesterday in the video, this 2200 level was a key spot to hold. And after multiple days down into support, along with that 21 right there, risk to reward still looks pretty good on small cap. So we'll see. The VIX up slightly today, but still living below 16/18. That's what we want to see. The dollar now, it's just meandering here on this 100 level, and it's starting to break lower. You can argue kind of this could go two ways. It could undercut and rally, which would be from foul moves come fast moves, or this kind of just breaks down out of this bear flaggish look, and that should help gold and stocks. And you can see gold, another new all-time high today, and just continues to trend higher really nicely. GDX gold miners, another new high today as well. Good for our nugget position in-house, and no reason to fight the trend in commodities right now. Silver, Kind of following gold now, still below this 29.56 previous high, but strong move up off here. So maybe it just flies right through that level, or it maybe builds a little handle. I think a handle would provide a better risk to reward, but definitely watching silver. Bitcoin, very strong today, kind of breaking out of this small little range. If we look at the weekly, this this is the ETF. Obviously, it's a little different than the actual Bitcoin chart, but it can held this 30 level on the pullback, and a lot of volatility in this range, but starting to get back above the moving averages, and you got a clear downtrend line here. And if we look at, I'll just pull up MSTR. We own this one in-house, and this one's performing really nice. Cracked above this 150 level after that double bottom base here off the 200 day, getting that relative strength line hooking back up. So this one definitely has some beta to it, and tends to outperform Bitcoin when it's moving. Bonds pulling back to the 21, TLT right into the 50-day. It's got a clear downtrend line here, so maybe it wedge pops back through. Rates rejecting the 50, TNX is kind of hanging out here at the lows, not doing a whole lot. So that's the inter-asset correlation. Let's get into the the tape. So, so Thursday we got some of the new sentiment numbers. Fear and greed's up to 72. So in that greed territory, bulls, bears, AAII, no big material changes. NAM as well. That's just kind of give or take a few points. So nothing new. Today we had, Micron earnings, which sparked tech, jobless claims, and GDP this morning, along with some Fed speakers. And then what to look out for tomorrow is PCE in the morning, along with retail inventories. So the economic data never stops. And in this market, it's pretty important to keep an eye on and track it. So going into today, our keys were, that S&P breakout support continued to trade above. And then QQQ got that cup and handle pivot breakout today. And we're still going to be watching that into tomorrow to see if it can hold. Would like to see a little more confirmation. Day count up one, 12 days above the 8, 12 days above the 21. Just ride the wave. No reason to fight the market right now. In some sectors today, China extremely strong, semiconductors, Bitcoin, copper as well, with China strong, seeing that get a bid. Materials and airlines were strong. And then to the downside, we had oil services weak, energy, real estate, and utilities. So in-house today, we bought a starter position in Micron. For solar as well, we added to Uber, which is a current position. We sold now, and then we also trimmed Eli Lilly. And the bottom line was, strong overnight gap, the mid-range close, what to look out for next. And I'll cover some of that once I get back into the charts here. So let's get back into the charts. And first, I'll go over the trades today. So first trade of the day, first solar. So kind of thought process here. This is starting to show some relative strength. You can see building higher highs, getting back that 21 day. And just with the energy theme, this fits that. And what we did like was this high volume close here. It's, can't show you the level, but on this big run earlier, this was the highest volume day on that huge gap. So we always pay attention to high volume closes. And right off the open, this got through that level, and I'll tell you the exact level. It's 251.75. And once it got through that, we took position there. And this is coming out of a strong base. The numbers are good. The estimates in the coming years are good. And this had a good technical setup. We'll look at the weekly. And yeah, this weekly looks good. It was another kind of weekly. This was that prior high that led to that big move through that level. Undercut and reclaim this. So this one looks good. And we'll see if it can continue higher. But like how it's building higher lows, was getting tight right under this 251.75 high volume close, and got through it today with volume confirming 34% above average. Second new trade was Micron. So this had a good earnings report. And what we look for when we're buying an earnings gap is one, we want to see strong earnings. So, something that is impacting the company that has the ability for the price to move higher. And we saw that in their earnings report today. Technical wise, this gapped above the 200-day moving average, which is a good sign. It's at 365% above average volume. And you always want to see volume on these earnings gaps. And sentiment got pretty bad for this stock. Earlier in the year, this was a big, clear, AI winner, and it traded really nice. And then once it started to come back down, the Wall Street saying nothing like price to change sentiment, but the earnings confirmed what a lot of people liked back up here. So we took a shot with that one. And then I did want to show this monthly chart. This is a huge, I'm just going to kind of draw. You can see this is like a ginormous monthly cup and handle base. So, and this back tested that 100 level and reclaimed. So, longer time frames, this chart looks fantastic, and we'll see how it plays out. We added to Uber, pretty low risk, right off the AEMA today, and it had that. We talk about this all the time, but when the market gets extended and you're either looking to initiate positions into a new name or add to current name, this 60-minute chart with the stochastic can be a good way to get low risk entry. So we took an add there. ServiceNow just cut the remainder of this one, was breaching the 21 earlier, and then Lilly trimmed some of the position from an earlier buy, just lacking relative strength here. You can see it there, and closing back below the 21. So trim that one. So those were in-house trades today. Let's take a look at 21 over 21 list. And that's the gainers. MSTR, this one was flexing today as well. Just, very strong. And say Michael Saylor, the CEO of MicroStrategies, he gets a lot of backlash, but the fact is the stock is up almost 1,000% in the past 5 years. So the guy is a proven winner. It's very bullish on Bitcoin. He's a visionary, and the stock price is acting well. So good to see this one up 9.5% today. Flutter, this one, as long as it holds above this 226 level, that's good. And characteristic you see with these gaps is it has that day one gap, and sometimes day two it consolidates, maybe comes back and retests these lows before curling higher. Oracle is a good example today, or couple trading days ago, when it gapped up here on earnings, had that tight inside day before moving higher. So that was Flutter. Oracle, again, looks good. We own this in-house. CE Limited continuing to new highs. This is very strong stock. FFIV just riding the 8 higher. Home builders consolidating, getting tight on the right side. Kava, another one, just kind of just trending higher with minimal volatility. Shark Ninja, this one still isn't giving, since this earnings gap has just trickled higher, and that's kind of that post earnings drift that you get for some of the stocks, is as the market didn't have them priced correctly, or a lot of institutions were underexposed to that stock, and you can see they just sometimes trend higher. GWRE, similar thing, just drifting higher. And then take a look at some of the losers. Affirm, very volatile name, coming back into the 21, but doing nothing wrong. IoT, finally starting to pull back a little bit, hit that pivot plus 20. So normal see this pull back, if this comes back and test this upper trend line slash 21 day, could be an opportunity. SFM, just light volume pullback. GEV, again, light volume pullback. And um, these stocks are quite extended from the proper pivot point, right? It was around 190 and 200 at the high end. So normal to see some of these stocks cool off a little bit, and they can provide secondary setup. So even when a stock gets extended, you don't necessarily want to take it off your radar. Zscaler, like this flag that is forming up here with the strength in real estate. Tesla resting, pausing at this, resistance level here. So, you see the cup here. So maybe it starts to handle out, and that would, make us pretty bullish. Tesla, which we already are, but it ran up quite fast. So maybe a couple of days of sideways and forming out that handle could set it up for higher. And obviously, there is that robo taxi event in October to keep an eye on. DoorDash just trending higher, low volatility day. ServiceNow I covered, Uber covered, Axon. This is another one that's acting really well, not really given too much opportunity. And then another one that was pulling back a little bit today, APP after this monster breakout, starting to come back. So we'll see if this, pulls back into the 21 day, could be an opportunity. Some other things is these there's a lot of momentum in China stocks. They cut interest rates and they pretty much came out with the bazooka, their most aggressive stimulus since the pandemic. So I'll show you guys KWeb. This is monster volume and breaking out. If we zoom out to the weekly, these are pretty big stage one bases. So given the volume and the move plus the catalyst, we'll keep an eye on these ETFs. And if you look at like a name like Alibaba, again, huge moves. And David Tepper was on CNBC and he was very bullish China stocks. He was basically saying buy them all, and he couldn't be any more bullish. So he's pretty successful fund manager. So be interesting. But given the volume, the bad sentiment, and the positive catalyst, they're worth a watch. One thing I did want to check out, Costco reported earnings after the bell, so pretty much flat. Gives a hint into the consumer a little bit. This is another good-looking chart sitting right at the 21 day and got a clear downtrend line and holding that close right at that 900 Livermore. It's about $6 below right now, so we'll have to see how that one acts into tomorrow. And yeah, market just pull up a S&P chart, just kind of visualize the keys. This, as long as the S&P 500 holds above this breakout level, the green arrows are going to stay. The stock action has been good. And then QQQ, we're going to be looking for, we got that cup and handle pivot breakout today. We're going to see if it holds. And then as well, Micron gapping, see if that holds. And then that obviously helps semiconductors today. I mentioned on the video yesterday, holding the 50-day, getting that follow through today. NVIDIA looks good, continuing higher after breaking out from this moving average cluster. So yeah, we're gonna keep riding the wave. No reason to fight it. So that is going to wrap it for today. If we always like to hear from you. My email is connor@revereasset.com, and then you can always reach out to Dan or Don at revereasset.com. Phone is 855 Real Wealth. That is 855-732-5932. And if you're interested in becoming a client, please reach out. And with that, I'll wrap it for Thursday, September 26th. This is Connor Bates with Revere Asset Management, telling it like it is. Thanks for listening and have a great evening.